But I will get us wonderfully started for this Meet the Authors evening. I am Leah Leach. I am the silly founder and executive director of Gals Guide. The authors here probably know me as the lady of the anthology that emails them a lot. This is the face behind all of those emails. Readers and fans on the call might know me from my piece in the anthology is The Importance of Rebels. That is my piece that is in the anthology this year. So if you are new to Gals Guide, sorry, I'm going to let somebody in. There we go. If you are new to Gals Guide or need a glorious refresher, Gals Guide is a women's history academy. We teach hybrid classes about life, about writing, and about women's history at its center. We also host wonderful events like this one. Our most recent one was a tribute to Henrietta Lacks, which does also remind me we can pay a little tribute to Dolly Parton. Is everybody kind of in their feelings on the Dolly Parton news today? That is okay as well. So I wanted to make sure I gave a little dedication to both of those wonderful ladies as tribute, Henrietta Lacks and Dolly Parton. Maybe we'll do a tribute night to Dolly Parton, right? I did just see somebody say, can 9/25 be a dedication day to Dolly Parton? And I love that idea. I mean, if May the 4th be with you, right? Then maybe 9/25. We'll see. Sweet. We are here today to celebrate our Meet the Authors event. It is our 5th anthology. Believe it or not, we have done 5 of these wonderful books and editions. I did put them on my desk because I knew there was going to be a point to be like, hey, that's in one of them. These are really hard to hold all of them, but look at that. It's a handful of books that we have published, which is fantastic because it's represented by so many authors. We had 39 authors in Gals Guide Rebellion. When we started, let me show you our first one. When we started, there were 16 authors in this one. That was where we started, right? You got to start somewhere. So from 16 authors to 39 authors, absolutely. I'm excited and I'm proud and delighted to have a space to share writer's words. So our intention with each of these anthologies that we do is to hold space for writers to become authors and for authors to reach a new audience as well. So it's a collection to give writers a voice and a variation on theme. We pick a theme and we very much like to see a spectrum of what people bring to the table about that theme. It's quite fun. So this year's theme was rebellion, right? The idea was sparks of rebellion that can be found in family stories of famous women of history or ripples of rebellion that can start small and grow into big movements. So stories and poems in this year's anthology, they showcase the political as well as the deeply personal, as well as the defiant acts of rebellion. And we published 39 authors from around the world. I'm trying to see if I have some, my international gals that are on here. We have writers from Ireland, from Norway, and from Kenya. Raya, I see you. So Raya May, it's 3 a.m. Thank you. Absolutely appreciative. I love how each of our authors in this anthology shared their insights on how many different ways rebellion shows up in our lives. So it's one of the many things we're here to celebrate. So I've got an agenda item. If you're wondering where we're at in kind of this evening fun, I will put in the chat are kind of like where we're at. So we're going to start with readings. Then I've got a slide deck for you of books in the wild. We'll have our Q&A portion. This is where I have some questions that were submitted as well as questions that I love to ask. And at any point, if you have a question, you can also put a question in the chat that we can put during the Q&A time. And then we'll announce the People's Choice winner as well. So I like to start with the readings. The readings, there's something absolutely wonderful about having an author read their own words. It adds such nuance to the material. They can show us where the pauses, where the inflection, where all of that nuance is when they read their pieces aloud. Also, these are poems and essays and stories about rebellion. So it sets a wonderful tone for the evening. And that kind of gets us into this rebellious vibe. So I have a list, dun dun dun, and I'm going to put that glorious list in the chat. That way, any nervous authors who have signed up to read kind of know the order of like, okay, so that person went, and then the next person's going to go, and it gives you a little time to process and all of that kind of good stuff. And remember, you're around friendlies. We're all super excited to be here and to celebrate this work. So I will go down this list in order. If we have time, I have a little budgeted for time, and somebody else who's not on this list would like to read, let me know in the chat, and we'll see if there is glorious time and all that kind of good stuff. So, but I will start it off with Bina. Are you ready for this?
I hope so.
Sweet. All right, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to, so everybody can see you not in a teeny tiny little square, I was going to remove my pen. There we go. And then I was going to pin, I think it'll let me. All this technology, right? If I go back here and then pin, can everybody see Bina? Yes? Sweet. Look at that. I love it. I love it. Which poem were you going to share with us? Because you have two in the anthology.
Extraordinary Women.
Ah, perfect. If anybody wants to read along, it is page 65. You don't have to. Bina's here. But if you wanted to reference to follow along, you totally can for page 65. When you are ready, take the floor, lovely.
Okay, thank you. And I also, before I begin, I do want to share that I just want to share congratulations for every single author here. This is a very vulnerable journey, and I feel like all of this is kind of woven into these words in its own way. So, extraordinary women. Extraordinary women don't just happen, they are made. When the going gets tough, they know that isn't reason to step back and quit. It is actually time to lean in, face the discomfort, and take charge. Looking at challenges as an invitation to build deeper self-trust and self-confidence. Facing adversity to set the stage for different actions to be taken so real change can take effect. They have space to hold all of it and also use discernment and intuitive decision-making to honor what they need to hold on to right now versus what they can choose to let go. Taking it one step at a time while holding the bigger vision loosely and yet remain determined. Determined to make a difference. Determined to be the change. Determined to create the world they want to live in. If you are on the brink of something uncomfortable and unsettling in your life, you are on the brink of transformation. Let these moments be so extraordinary that one day you look back in hindsight only to acknowledge that these moments did not break you, they made you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yay. I always want to do the snaps, right? Snaps for poetry.
Thank you.
I love virtual hand claps. I'm telling you, this is adorable in our little world. Good job. See? Yay. Now you just get to relax for the rest of this, right? Perfect. All right. Next on my trusty screen is Debbie. Is Debbie ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. I know the unmuting part. That's also why, like the pinning and the unmuting, we got time. It's all good.
There we go.
You got this. Perfect, darling. Yes. So Debbie's piece is, if you want to follow along, which you do not have to, is on page 153. You ready for this?
First of all,
yeah.
I don't know if I can follow that one. I was all teary at the end of it. That was lovely. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I can do this.
Yes, you can.
I'm not a rebel. I do not march in parades or carry banners or throw rocks through windows. I do not troll those who disagree with me because they do not want to hear me. I was taught to love and forgive, and I thought that meant I had to accept. I was wrong. I am allowed to be angry. I am allowed to know that words can hurt far more than sticks and stones. I am allowed to hurt with someone, for someone. I can love and defend you when you have been mistreated or hurt or othered and say, you were wronged. I am allowed to look hatred in the eye and say that my friend deserves to exist in this world, and so does a stranger in this strange land. I can believe in free speech and in consequences, and that some things should never be said. I can hate your words, but not you, and I am allowed and called to condemn those words. They are wrong. I'm not a rebel. I will stand for those who have been hurt. I will cheer at the parades and applaud the banners and wave from open windows. I will call out those who sow seeds of hate, and I will make them hear me. I was taught to love and forgive. I learned that love is not rebellion because love is never wrong.
Look at that. I want to snap and clap all at the same time. Yes, you did it. That's another part that reminds me of having an author read it is hearing the quiver in the voice when it's touching. It's one of those things. Yeah, it's absolutely lovely. You did great. Look at that. There are tears and hearts and celebrations. Fantastic. Awesome. Next on my beautiful list, I have Amelia. Amelia, are you here? I think I saw you. Yes, there you are. Yes, I saw you. You were jumping in and out. Were you having internet connection problems?
No, I just got home from work and I've got to make sure I look like a human being problems.
You're gorgeous regardless. Yes, exactly. You're good. But I'm glad you are here. Yay! Amelia's story is on page 162 if anybody wants to follow along. I'm giving glorious page numbers. They don't have to. It's just fun. Well, you look fabulous. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready if you are. Let's go.
Go for it. Yes.
All right, here goes. Self-imposed in exile, biding myself time for a thing I merely saw, for the witness of a crime, a violation so unspeakable, indecent, and absurd. I'll tell you now the story, just in case you haven't heard. One day I saw a vision. It came from deep within of who I truly was and who I might have been. The vision felt familiar, as if I'd always known, but it bore no faint resemblance to the girl that I had shown. The world saw a premonition from my very youngest years of a potent force of nature that betrayed their deepest fears. In a vain attempt to tame it, they conspired a great lie that the vision was a false one, a deficiency of mind that existed only in me and of which I must be cured. So they lied about what they saw, and they prayed I never heard the tales of that great fire that they knew they must put out, that they thought they could extinguish with collusion, shame, and doubt. Since you're now my confidant, I've one secret left to share. You see, what was once a vision caught me unaware, and a spark became a fire burning brighter every day. But I fear that now my secret soon shall be betrayed. For the vision has become flesh, and it lives within my bones. The abstract is now concrete, and the secret shall be shown. Think me not a criminal, and think it not a crime. I am power, strength, and goodness, and the vision was no lie. Thank you so much.
Yes. Fantastic job. See, another case of why you get the author to read it, and it brings so much nuance. I love that. Great job. Fantastic. Next, I have Ada. Ada is next. Are you ready for this, darling?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can, yes. And I'm going to pin
Very
you so
good.
everybody
Thank you
can
so
see you as well. Sweet.
Thank you.
Page number 95. If you guys are following along, page 95. Ada.
Thank you. You go away. I was sitting in my apartment, miserable, yelling at my cat. My heart was pounding, my mind filled with violent images. It was rage, and I recognized it. Sorrow, whose name means lotus in Sanskrit, is a gentle creature with piercing green eyes and shimmering gray fur. I adopted her 10 years earlier. She backed away from me, the same way she had approached me. I saw confusion and fear in her eyes. In that moment, a thought arose, one that changed my life. She recognized my rage, though she could not know what I was seeing in my head. I imagined myself hurting her. My love for her jolted me awake and stopped me before I crossed that line. My own capacity for violence shook me. Moments earlier, I had been sitting on my couch crying, drowning in misery and self-pity. Sorrow came to me wanting to be petted. That was her way of comforting me. It was October 2015. I was a tenured professor of sociology at DePaul University. I had been unhappy since receiving tenure a decade earlier. Beyond institutional racism and racialized misogyny, I felt stagnant. I didn't feel I was growing as a human being. I didn't know how to leave. Tenure offered comfort. It also bred complacency. I came to the United States in 1991 from Taiwan as an international student and spent more than a decade earning my master's degree and PhD. When I received my doctorate, earned tenure, and published my first academic book in 2006, I believed I had achieved the American dream. I finally made it. As unhappy as I was and as toxic as the ivory tower could be, I didn't know how to abandon the immigrant success narrative. I didn't know how to walk away. In the month leading to that night, I went to work full of rage and came home in tears, asking myself every night, do I continue to do this until the age of 65 when I retire? Then came the outburst. As I yelled at Sarah, I pictured myself hurting her, and the thought surfaced. I'm glad I don't have children. Otherwise, I will harm them. I hit bottom with that thought, and that thought led me to the memories of my father. My father passed away in 1989, 2 years before I left Taiwan. He was a dutiful Taiwanese man who worked hard for his family. He was also deeply unhappy. An alcoholic, he came home drunk every night. When he felt powerless at work, he took it out on us. I was often spared because I stood up for myself. My mother and my older brother were not. At times, I had to stand up for them, particularly my mother. That night, I saw myself clearly. I was becoming someone toxic, emotionally, verbally abusive, controlling, someone I didn't like, someone like my father, someone I had spent decades trying to escape. 24 years earlier, I had left the island. I left my homeland. When I left home, I believed I had left everything behind. I didn't realize my father had followed me. I kept running until I understood there was nowhere left to go. For decades, I wondered why I was drawn again and again to gender-based violence and broader anti-violence work, even though it drained me to the point of burnout. My mother bore no bruises, yet she was so emotionally and verbally degraded that she attempted suicide multiple times during her marriage to my father until his passing. Only decades later did I name her truthfully, a survivor of domestic violence. My father, the abuser. When I spoke about intimate partner violence, I didn't just focus on my father. I also described my older brother as his mirror, volatile, explosive. I watched my mother and sister-in-law walk on eggshells around him. My brother was my father's son. He was him. I pity him for not recognizing it and reckoning with our violent family legacy. When yelling at Sarah, I saw what I had refused to see before. I was not only a victim, I was also capable of harm and violence. I simply couldn't see myself capable of abuse as a woman. I was emotionally and verbally abusive toward my previous partners. I lost temper the same way my brother did, the same way my father did. I had simply been fluent enough in the language of social justice to avoid personal accountability. The truth was unavoidable. The ghost of my father wasn't trailing me. He was me. I was him. There's no running from or running to. No salary, no title, no prestige, no middle-class lifestyle was worth becoming someone abusive, worth harming the beings who loved me, worth living as someone I couldn't respect or did not like. I left the university after decades of building that life on a foreign land. I left without a plan, without certainty. I left because I had to break the intergenerational cycle of violence. I had to rebuild myself. Understanding the cultural and structural forces that have shaped us does not absolve us of personal responsibility. Breaking the cycle of violence within oneself is essential as confronting the violence in the world, even if it is not a prerequisite. Holding myself accountable for the future I choose to envision and create without replicating the harm of my past is the most rebellious act I know, even if I must lose everything. 10 years later, Sarah is still with me, still gentle, still offering comfort with her soft paw. I wish I had given her the grace she gave me. Sometimes the ghost that haunts us is not out there in the dark. It is inside us. I'm still my father's daughter. I'm still him, just like every child who witnessed domestic violence at home. It takes everything in me not to repeat the familiar every day, and still I know this. I can't change the past, but I can create different kind of legacy. Thank you.
Oh, Ada, that is absolutely beautiful. I have tears, and it's what at this moment it's like going, why am I hosting this? I'm just getting I love you. Thank you for that. So rebellious, so wise, so fantastic. I really, really I appreciate that one on many, many levels. Oh my goodness. Who is Callie? Callie is next on my glorious list. Callie, you have two pieces. Which piece were you going to share?
I was going to share the short story To Pause for the Watch, but I've cut it down in case anyone follows. I've cut it down shorter, so it's less than 10 minutes.
Gotcha. Sounds good. To Call for the Watch is on page 178. I'm looking through my tears to find the button of where the pin is. I think I've got you. There we go. All right, Callie, when you are ready, go for it.
This is a short story called To Pause for the Watch. The counselor turned to his rosewood bookshelf. "Leave tonight," he said, not even bothering to glance her way. Sister Jimbira Allard resisted an urge to kick the office doorframe. Her superior, a counselor of the Order of Benar, had given her next assignment, an order. What could she say? She only stepped out into the hallway and descended the nearby steps. Jimbira hadn't planned on leaving the Abbey that night. She'd looked forward to taking a shift for the watch and then getting some sleep. And yet, of all the acts of rebellion she could choose, staying the night would likely accomplish little. And she doubted her fellows would even understand her reasons for staying. Most didn't enjoy the watch. Only every now and then would someone on watch claim they encountered the god. That garnered interest. The maker or the judge, a glorious youth or majestic elder, whatever manifestation of the divine they described, it made no difference. Enthusiasm flared. Leadership renewed its commitment to liturgies fallen by the wayside. Volunteers gathered, adding numbers to the watch. The community hovered near the sanctuary day and night. Then months would pass with no further encounters. Jimbira herself had no illusions about the watch. Turning north, she strode toward the sanctuary, mainly wanting to pause somewhere she hadn't been in months. Sister Allard! Jimbira turned. A sister with dark hair hurried toward her. The young woman wore the usual linen tunic and pants of the order. She stopped a few feet away, bowing. You often leave before now. It would be my honor to take your place in prayer tonight. Jimbira frowned. I don't believe we've met. I'm Sister Day. It's an honor to meet you, Sister Allard. And mine to meet you, Sister Day. The young woman must have come with the spring recruits, otherwise Jimbira would have recognized her. Thank you for the offer, but Jimbira hesitated. But what? She didn't want to miss the time in prayer. Decision made. I'll take my place on tonight's rotation, Jimbira said. Of course. The novice bowed again. Jimbira inclined her head. Good evening. She continued north along the walkway. But the younger woman kept pace with her. Jimbira glanced sideways, wondering what the novice wanted. On evenings like this, Jimbira didn't even know what she wanted. You bring us into rooms we wouldn't otherwise access, the counselor told her on nights like this when he sent her across the country on long assignments. He worked with big pictures and impressive goals, which Jimbira wanted to support. And yet tonight, she mainly wanted to stay home like everyone else at the Abbey of Benar. Perhaps that made her unambitious. At the sanctuary doors, Sister Day turned to Jimbira. How may I be of assistance? Jimbira's eyebrows shot up. Novices didn't usually follow her around offering assistance. None needed, but thank you. The younger woman nodded. I'll return in 3 hours to relieve you from your shift. The Maker bless you. And may the judge go with you. Jimbira bowed to the novice and then stepped into the sanctuary. Candles flickered from alcoves along the wall. Flames of 3 large tallow candles danced on the altar. A lone man kneeled there, shoulders hunched. Jimbira moved up the aisle, sitting in a pew. When the man finally stood, he gave her a single nod before exiting, and she remained where she sat. Holy Maker, she prayed, and then paused before adding, and Judge of Truth. She'd been less and less able to speak those words. They sent her mind to somber, whiskered males standing at bookshelves. He's full of shit, her sister would have said. Then she'd have snorted a laugh. Eleonora Allard had laughed often. She'd certainly laughed at Jimbira's decision to pursue Abbey life. Jimbira took in a slow, deep breath. Holy Maker, she began again. And then again she stopped. Eleonora would have kicked the doorframe of the counselor's office, whereas Jimbira only kept silent as he'd trained her to do. He'd even trained her not to pause for the watch. She thought of this one thing for a long while. But eventually, her anger burned lower, and she may have closed her eyes and maybe dozed. Fabric rustled beside her. Jimbira jolted. Sister Day sat in the pew. I didn't mean to disturb you, whispered Sister Day. It hasn't been 3 hours, has it? The younger woman nodded. Ah, Jimbira's shoulders slumped. She hadn't come up with any big insights, nor received any either. To pause for the watch, said Sister Day, is generally a good thing, but the counselor and I don't agree on much. For the first time that night, Jimbira smiled. Her opinion of the novice improved by the moment. You overheard his order that I leave tonight. Sister Day nodded. Then she dug into her satchel and held out something wrapped in a cotton towel. I brought this for you. What is it? A sweet from the kitchens? Jimbira frowned. Sweets aren't. The novice snorted. I know, they're not allowed. The counselor has often told me how frivolous they are. She set the bundle on the pew beside Jimbira. I still help the kitchen workers experiment. We made my favorite cake tonight. When Jimbira only stared at her, Sister Day nudged the bundle closer. Eleonora had enjoyed sweets too. She'd often made a ginger caraway cake as a treat, or a peace offering, or whatever the two of them needed it to be. Thank you, Sister Day. Jimbira reached for the bundle, sliding it into a deep pocket she'd sewn inside her tunic. It's awfully late to leave the Abbey now, said Sister Day, standing. Why not stay and get some sleep? The young woman kneeled at the altar. She's probably right, Jimbira thought, rising. She left the sanctuary, letting the doors close behind her. Sister Allard approached with quick steps and a sour expression. Brother Milton. Sister Allard, your relief is unwell. I've been asked to take his place, but you know the altar is not to be left untended. Even if your relief is late, you're to remain in prayer until another arrives. He stepped around her. Jimbira glared at his back. Sister Day relieved me. The brother stopped, half turning. Who? Sister Day. He shook his head. I believe she came this spring. Brother Milton's frown deepened. We had no new entrants this spring. Well, she looked like a novice. Brother Milton's eyes went wide. An alarm exploded through Jimbira's chest. What? He darted into the sanctuary, and Jimbira ran after him. What? She called. He stopped in the middle of the room and turned slowly, gazing at each corner. It was empty. No Sister Day kneeling at the altar. The brother turned to Jimbira, hazel eyes wild. The god has sometimes appeared as a novice to those praying the watch. What was he like? Jimbira drew back, stunned at the direction of his thoughts. The young woman, had come from the kitchens. They were making her favorite things. Brother Milton blinked. He turned and ran out the sanctuary doors. To the kitchens! Every few steps he'd repeated, his voice retreating into the distance. To the kitchens! Jimbira only stood there. Then her hand bumped the bundle in her pocket. She'd forgotten the novice's gift. Drawing it out, she unfolded the towel to find a familiar golden brown slice of cake. She broke off a corner and popped it into her mouth. A hint of sugar, a punch of ginger, and the distinctive crunch of caraway seeds. It even tasted like Eleonora's recipe. A tear dropped onto Jimbira's cheek. To the kitchens! A chorus of voices echoed from the cloisters. Thank you, Jimbira whispered. The end.
Excellent. There's comments in the chat that you have a great reading voice, so I've told people you have an audiobook. So if you like those delicious stylings from Callie J. Smith, then please look at her socials are on our wonderful landing page. But great job. Yes. Beautiful. Amazing. All right, next on my list is April. April, I need to find you. There you are. Okay, sorry. I love having this problem of so many people to look through to find the glorious pin button. Oh, I love that. So April's story is on page 11, and you were one of our medal winners as well. Do you wear your medal? I was going to say, do you wear your medal every day, like I said?
Of course I should. My desk is piled up. Man, I should have planned well.
You are totally fine. You're quite busy. So yes, exactly. I think more importantly at this test, read your glorious poem and then, later find a medal.
Yes, will do. Accept that offer. All right. So the title of my poem is Elemental Rebellion. Rebellion, it turns out, is not always fierce fire. Sometimes it is air, a body that learns slowly how to unclench, steady breath, fully expanding the lungs, breathing in and noticing the healing breeze, exhaling without apologizing for taking up space. Sometimes it is water, hydration that restores, allowing tears to flow without damming them up, melting what was once frozen into a slow, steady drip, smoothing the harsh edges of rock with patient movement. Sometimes it is earth, lying belly to the ground, breathing in the rich aroma of soil. Seeping into the ground and releasing what no longer serves, resting your bones and allowing gravity to hold you. Sometimes it is fire, not the kind that burns the bridge, but the kind that kindles warmth, illuminating the darkness, bringing the kettle to boil, nourishing resistance with a warm cup of tea. Rebellion, when rooted in the elements, becomes transformation, healing our deepest wounds, nurturing the hurts we never mention, deeply restoring and steadying us to be brave in the world. Resistance does not need to feel like a fight. Sometimes it flows, guiding us forward to how we want to show up in this world.
I love that. It always felt like a meditation every time I read it, and hearing you, you know what I mean, speak it also gives that meditational gravitas. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, exactly.
Hair toss. Check my nails. Yeah.
Exactly. All the things. I love it. Fantastic. Yes. Lovely. Next, I have Sarah. Sarah Weisner. Do I have there, Sarah? There you are, lovely. Yay! I'm gonna do a little penny pin.
Okay,
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Yes, you are.
Apron full of stones. There was a woman strong and brave. From some she took and others gave. Her whole being was her own, and her heart on her sleeve was often shown. Her armor, shiny, beautiful, and bright, protected her in the most gruesome of fights. She loved deeply and laughed to her core when one day new beings came to her shore. They stole her armor and gave her an apron. You need no such things, more not what we've taken. They handed her a stone, shiny and round. Put it in your apron, not on the ground. It is a gift you must cherish. If not, you will surely perish. More stones were given, cold and gray, week after week, day after day. It's getting quite heavy. May I give these back? You're being ungrateful. It is strength that you lack. You must take more, for it is expected. If you do not, you won't be respected. My pockets are full. I can't carry any more. Then you must forge the river to another shore. There you may place your burdens on the floor. Move quickly and be gone. This is your chore. Is there a boat to use? If not, I will drown. We issued a command. You better make ground. The apron had grown unbearably heavy. She knew it was her strength she must levy. Which stones go where when I cross? Do I place them down or give them a toss? They approached irritated at the air between her ears. She braced herself, pushing down her fears. When they were close, giving a demonstration, she grabbed the largest stone in her apron. Raising it high and slamming it hard, blood flowed freely and the apron was marred. She dropped the apron upon the corpse at her feet, stealing back her armor without missing a beat. Those around her, whose aprons were clean, stared in wonder upon the scene. Seeing her back in the armor where she belonged, they tossed aside their aprons and themselves rearmed. Those that had taken what was not theirs were removed from power with meticulous care. Those who seek to steal a right, tread lightly. It will not be taken without a fight.
Yes. Fantastic. Thank you, lovely Sarah.
Yeah.
Powerful, wonderful.
I always forget
dynamic.
how to breathe when I read. But...
I know, it's fine. It's fine. It's practice, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Take in that deep breath now. You got this. Fantastic. So then last on my list before I open it up, we will have just a little bit of time. Maybe we could do one or two more if they are short. But Raya is on our list. Early morning time. Are you ready for this? I am looking for you, darling. Let's see. Where is Raya? Where are you? I know you were here a second ago. Oh, no. Oh, there you are. Oh, my goodness. Raya, there you are. Yay! Fantastic. For those who want to follow along, I almost forgot to say what page number Sarah's was on. Raya's is on 117. I hand the floor to you, lovely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and good morning from this very, very early morning in Nairobi.
Yes.
You work for me. But I'm tired of seeing my countrymen bleeding for the sake of your fees. See, you work for me. But I cannot believe in your incompetent grinning at my nation's needs. You work for me inadequately, selfishly stabbing our unity, spitting at the beauty in diversity, disrespectfully rubbing dirt in the wounds that it should be your duty to heal for our nation's prosperity. Don't we drive on the same roads? You'd rather take on loans. Or aren't you here too? Do you work for me? Not the other way round? When you mess up, it's your job to with shame face the ground, to get up and run when any warning bells sound, not measure your rocks for some heat-beaten crowd. You don't care what parties I go to. Why should I care the other way round? Which schools will you build? Where and how? Can't you feel the vibrations? My lake suffocation, can't you see your reflection? Before we all drown, you work for me. Oh. Do your job, get it right. My land is filled with resources inspiring. Do the one you've got now before you start applying for promotions with notions of wasting more of my time. You work for me, just in case you forgot it. My anger has passed the point where I lost it. The time has now come to get real or eject. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Oh, it was fantastic hearing you read it too. Holy cow. Absolutely beautiful, powerful. Yes, magnificent. I'm seeing in the chat. Fantastic, fantastic. I want to snap as well. Oh, we have time for one more. Did anybody else want to read? Looking for virtual hands or in the chat or any of that kind of good stuff. Sweet. Fantastic. Well, I mean, we did our finished readings, I think, on an absolutely brilliant note. So you feeling the rebellion a little bit? Wonderful. Okay, so let's see. Yes, everybody was out. Give yourselves a round of applause. Those who read, those who wrote, and those who listened. All of the love. Fantastic. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Then we'll get to our next bit, which is books in the wild. This also allows me to share my screen and all that kind of good stuff. So this will be more buttons for me to hit. However, so starting July 1st, I started asking the authors to think about sending in pictures of themselves or pictures of their books, basically their books in the wild, of what is the book doing, where are these books spotted. I asked them, when you get your book, take a picture, include your face or include a landmark around your town. And I was going to try to capture these photos and put them into a slide deck so that we could all see them together without an algorithm, without, you know what I mean, having to go through ads, all of that kind of good stuff. The idea of the books in the wild all in one spot. And today is that day that I've been promising that I will share them. So we'll get to see all of these wonderful celebrations in one spot. Are you ready for this technological marvel that I have constructed? All right, let's see. I'm going to share my screen. That is the one. And then I make this one bigger. Can you all see my screen? There you go. Crisis averted. Okay. All right. It's always the hardest part of it is, can people see? I'm going to make it bigger. Look at that. Of my glorious books in the wild. Didn't put it to music because I didn't think that would work. Didn't time it or anything like that. But here we go. One at a time. You're going to get my clumsy narration on this. So that's what the book looks like. You might have seen it. My first picture is Kathy Sutton unboxing. I needed to start with an unboxing picture, right? I'm a little bit of a linear thinker, but there is unboxing with Kathy. Kathy also took the book out into the wild as well. She went to Connor Prairie. So there on the rock there is a picture of the book that y'all in. Connor Prairie is a historical I always want to say nature park, but it's a historical reenactment park, and it is part of the Smithsonian as well. So nice little bit of history of the Gals Guide Anthology with Connor Prairie. Then Debbie took the book to work with Carrie for a little coworker. They were both in the anthology. They brought a copy to work. So I love that Carrie and Debbie sharing a copy. I love this. There's me. I might look familiar. I brought the book to a community event during LGBTQ Pride Week here in Moorhead. I had all 5 copies of the anthology, and I sold one too. So there you go. Then April brought the book to her state capital of Vermont. Yes, she did. So there's that book right there in front of government. But also it's real pretty. I'm just going to say that there's a raw government part, but it's real pretty. Then we've got Lynn. Lynn is here in Moorhead, and Lynn has a glorious copy. So it's also in Moorhead. I love this. And then Ada, who read tonight, copy of You Had to Wait. Ada had to wait a little bit. Ada was traveling, and so getting back to finally hold the book. These were photos that I snagged from your Instagram. I love you. Thank you. And then Amelia has a copy of her book in California. So look at that glorious skyline. I see mountains back there. Actually, I'm hoping the picture is in California. It might not be, but it's gorgeous. So Amelia with her copy. Caroline is in Norway. Also a time commitment, but from Norway with love from Carolyn. She actually had her poem written and then translated and then asked me, I really hope that, this works. And it was great. Teresa is one of our Gals Guide supporters. This is her copy. She got off of Amazon. She was very happy to snap a picture that it arrived. There's a picture of Callie reading her book. This is one that Rebel Cat really, really liked because Callie looked like she had a nice lap that a cat could lay in while reading a glorious book. Christina Kelly, very accomplished author, has been in previous anthology editions, sent in a picture of her book in the wild. I love it. This is Ellen's book. Ellen was at the Indiana book party, and so this is Ellen's picture, and there is cake. So this is more pictures from the Indiana book party. Kathy wonderfully put this together and organized this for us. So there was cake. There is Kathy and her daughter celebrating at the book party. I'm even seeing buttons with Rebel Cat on there. So I absolutely love that. Thank you. Thank you. Here's a picture of the crew that was there for the Indiana book party. And I've got one more. Look at that. Having a great time talking about books. Thank you, Kathy, for putting this together. Super, super appreciative. So thank you. That's my books in the wild. It's like you kind of traveled around the world, right? I didn't know if it was going to work. I honestly didn't know if there was only going to be, 2 pictures that anybody was going to share. So 18 pictures, pretty good. Thank you, everybody who shared a picture and all of that kind of good stuff. It's totally fine if you didn't. Sometimes it's like, I just got the book and I just needed to devour. That is absolutely fine too. But that was our books in the wild. So now let's get into our Q&A portion. This is a portion to get to know each other a little bit better, create that community. Writers, we need to stick together. There's a lot of high highs and a lot of low lows with writing. So the more that we support each other, connect with each other, know each other is wonderful. I have I'm going to change back to gallery mode for questions and stuff. I have some questions that were submitted, and I can start with those. But at any point, you can also add questions to the chat. You can also raise your hand as well if you have a question either to a specific author or just like, hey, I have a question about writing or about your process to anybody who would like to answer. That works wonderfully as well. So I will start with the submitted questions, and anybody can answer this. The first one is, how old were you when you first thought about writing? I forgot I also like to put these in the chat. So let me see if I can put these in the chat. Will that help maybe a little bit while I kind of let you all think for a second? And I'm going to, there we go. We like the written word, don't we? So sometimes putting things in the chat really kind of helps. Amelia was close to 7. Oh, Mina was also 7. 7, they say, is the age of reason. So lovely. Sweet. We got a 2nd grade 4. Look at that. Wrote my first poem at 5. Aw. Oh, look at that. A 7, a young authors program. Nice. Didn't start till middle school. Nothing wrong with that. Look at that. Beautiful. Dr. Zeus. Yes. 9. Look at that. First story in 4th grade. Fantastic. Yes. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful. How about this question? And you can also unmute and use your microphone as well if you want to. What was the hardest part for you about writing your piece? Sometimes just finding words, sometimes spelling words. I'm dyslexic, so proofreading.
I want to share for me.
Yes, please.
Thank you for this question. I think it's a great question. I would have to say being vulnerable, like feeling safe being vulnerable. And I also want to share, I know this is like off topic, but like Ada's and Amelia's poems, like and the story, they spoke straight into my heart. And I can only imagine the vulnerability that it takes to form words around that. So I just want to share, I think vulnerability was huge, but it was also very healing and transformative. Like I now know on the other side, I can do this. So
Yeah.
that's
Great point. I love that. Anybody else have the hardest part? You did fantastic performing it, Raya. You did great. You did great.
I'm going to come off on mute too and just say the vulnerability that any writing represents. You know, anytime you're writing, for me, rebellion is incredibly personal because although many of you wrote about not being the marcher or the protester, I am a marcher and I am a protester. And so I am in the streets. I'm in the streets every single week. So I think the vulnerability of just this whole topic, and I loved the readings and the vulnerability of Ada's and Raya's. It was a magnificent selection, and I admire you all for what you wrote about.
I love that. Fantastic. Debbie, you had your hand up.
I did.
Did you want to speak to this? Go for it.
I do. For me, honestly, it was believing I belonged in this anthology simply because I really am not the rebel type. I don't do the marches and I don't do all that stuff. I believe in the causes. I just don't. And so, yeah. I was convincing myself I needed to be here.
There you go. Nice. And you do. And I'm glad you did. Yay. Fantastic. Anybody else with this question of the hardest part about writing this piece? Dun, dun, dun. Then I'll go. Oh, yeah, go for it.
Mine might be a little bit too long to write. I think, so vulnerability is one thing, but also a lot of time I write, for the sake of healing too, right? And so sometimes healing, it really means you dig into the wounds, right? And so that's really the kind of a hard part where, you want to write from a place of scars rather than the wounds, right? And so how do you kind of balance where you have to revisit a wound, but still writing from a place that does not venting, right? And so there's definitely that. The other thing I think is also a lot of times we want to, all of us want to be the hero, right? But we are both hero and villain at the same time.
Yeah.
And as a storyteller, I always believe when you're willing to tell that story, a story about yourself being a villain, that's really the kind of the peak of the craft. Yeah. Meaning you're being very honest. And so, you know, the difficult part really is how honest do I want to be with myself? And how honest do I want to expose myself to the reader, right? And particularly kind of getting to the skeletons in your own closet. And so that's actually less about the kind of a writing, the beauty of the language, but there's a kind of the psychological, emotional layer to it that I struggle a lot.
Yeah, but you're going to such a dark and yet at the same time wise place, right? So yeah. No, I absolutely love that. No, scars, not wounds. I love that. I'm gonna sit on that. That's lovely. Fantastic. Was there another hands up? I'm trying to remember. Anybody else have? Sweet. Let me go to this next question.
Hold on, Callie had her hand up.
Oh, Callie did. Did you have your hand up? Or were you applauding?
I did, just briefly.
Go for it.
With how I was trying to get into my head how I was defining rebellion and how big or small the story was going to go. I mean, I ended up writing about a very private and small moment, but I struggled with where that was going to land, I think, because there were so many options.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a whole bunch of options, but you did fantastic. All different forms of rebellion are wonderful. Raya, you have your hand up. Yes, go for it, lovely.
I think for me, generally, one of the things that's difficult is getting to the point where you can heal enough to understand and verbalize a concept, in a way that's both uplifting and revealing. And I feel like so many of the pieces today have done that, and I'm so happy to have heard them. But I wanted to mention about this piece specifically. I wrote it during a time when we had a president that was much more comfortable with freedom of speech. At the moment, we have was a little bit, it's a bit scary. So I think I lean on the fact that I wrote this before his time. So it's like, right. No, but it's not about you. I know, but like you know, if the shoe fits.
Right.
But that's definitely a scary thing about that poem, and I haven't performed it locally in years. I haven't performed it locally, possibly in a decade.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. For fear of the unknown and the unsafe prickliness of it. I get it. Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, and that's
I hate that. Yeah.
Lynn just said something in the comments, and that's actually one of the reasons why I really wanted to share it in America specifically right now, because it's like I feel like you guys, like you're kind of there.
Yeah, it sucks. So solidarity. Right? Yes. Oh, goodness. I love that. Yay! My next question, it's a little bit of a loaded and lighthearted question, but also at the same time, I'm curious. Is this the first publication for anyone? I know one person who's the first publication, but I was curious to see if there was more. My loaded question, I'm going to go to Kathy first. Kathy, is this by any chance your first publication?
Yes. 68 years old.
68 years young.
To be published. 68 years young. First thing published.
How does it feel to be published?
It feels wonderful. It feels great. And it feels like I don't have anything to prove. You know, not that I won't continue to write, but I don't have to prove myself by being accepted by any magazine or a book, because I've been accepted.
Yes. Yep. I love that. See, loaded question. Sweet. But did I see somebody else saying it was also their first publication? Do I see? Is it your first publication? Oh my goodness. How does it feel for your first publication? Also, and congrats.
I feel this has felt like a really, like I'll just share vulnerably. Last year, I broke through a cycle of narcissistic abuse. So this felt like a total reclamation. I've actually had thyroid cancer when I was 21. So this book to me is, I don't mean this lightly, like listening to other people's stories, I was just so blown away by everyone's poems. And I just want to share for me, this has been a huge moment. I don't take this moment lightly, and I do feel more confident in my voice, which just goes to show there is power in self-expression. There's power in speaking our truth and sharing our hearts. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate every moment.
Thanks for taking the opportunity. There's one thing to hold a container open, but it's another thing to have people embody it and embrace it and use it as transformation. So, yeah. Oh, that is fantastic. I love it. I love it. Any other first time publications, publishers, publishees, I guess is the word I'm looking for. The English language. It's real hard. So sorry. Fantastic. For those seasoned published authors that are out there, how did publishing your first book or your first piece, how did that change the way that you wrote? Any thoughts? I know we've got some amazing seasoned authors, is what I like to call them. Dun, 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 dun. All right, well, think on it. I can always. Oh, Debbie's got it. Debbie, look at that. I love that you're a seasoned author, because there was one point when I met you, you never thought you'd be a author. So I love that you are answering this question now. Do it.
and that's what I was going to say. I had a hard time even after the first time. I kind of felt like a pretender, and that even writing a story that said I acknowledge that I'm a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny. This one hit harder,
Mm-hmm.
in a good way, because I saw people who had been in my shoes
Mm-hmm.
that got into this anthology for the first time, and I watched their joy, and it touched me very, very deeply. And this one, I think I'm more proud to be in this book than any of the others I have been.
Ooh, look at that. Can you encapsulate why yet? Or is it just a feeling? It's just a vibe you don't know, but you feel it. And that's fine.
Because I felt for the first time, not just that, yay, my friends are writers, but they joined a group that I'm a part of. And it was when I realized that I felt that way was the first time I'm like, oh, I am a fucking writer. Sorry.
Yes, you are. We're adults. You're good. Because I believe I've also said those exact words to you. You're like, oh, I'm not a writer. I'm like, you are a fucking writer, Debbie.
You're speaking my language, Debbie. You're speaking my language.
I love it. Yes, fantastic. Yes, it's more than just words on a page. That's the whole thing. So I love that. Sweet. Let's see. I've got time for a few more. Okay, here's another one. This one feels like a loaded question as well. So 16 of the authors that are published in this anthology took the big Gals Guide writing class. So that's out of the 39 of you, that's 41%. So 41% of the writers that are in this anthology just happened to take a big writing class with Gals Guide. For those who are in the call, so that number is even smaller, how would you say that Gals Guide writing class helped you this particular year with writing about rebellion? I've got a couple of my classmates in here. Dun, dun, dun. Kathy, go for it. And the next class is in January. Thank you, Lynn.
I think it's just the support of my fellow classmates and you in encouraging me to submit something and making, me feel like I was a writer, like Debbie said, because I have not written since I was in my 20s. So this class rekindled that desire to write again, and it's a great class. I recommend it to everybody.
Yay! Yay! This feels like a terrible product placement, but I just wanted to know how it helped because rebellion is such a hard topic to write about. So I'm like, did the class help? Callie, what are you thinking? You were also in class, lovely.
I was in the class, and I wanted to say it. The experience of community made it such a not isolating thing to write, and even not being in the class, but even just in gatherings like this, I feel like being published in Gals Guide is a very unique experience because of all the energy and all the gatherings and all the interaction. I think it's a very special thing. But the class just accentuated that and extended that, and it was a chance to work with the themes and with the piece too, and get some feedback. And to let it be a process and a community engagement and not something done in isolation.
Yeah. Writing is so much in isolation, right? And so it is sometimes nice, not all the time. Sometimes you need the isolation to get to the heart of the piece. Sometimes you need the tears in the writer to be tears in the reader. But also sometimes you need that, hey, what's the word for? Or I hate this piece now so much. Can somebody please bring it back from the dead from me? So yes. Sarah, you have your hand up. Go for it.
So I actually learned about the class like a while ago. Like I think I joined, you were presenting something in Noblesville at the library, and I'm like, so I've been carefully watching the site when it finally became live. And for whatever reason, beginning of this year, I'm like, I need more community, but I don't know what kind of community. I just need community. So when I saw that it posted, I'm like, I don't really write. I kind of write. I'm more journal than write. And the piece that I wrote, I've actually been sitting on since like 2020. Like it's been one of those things where you start kind of piecing it together and then you leave it for a few years.
Yes.
And then you come back to it. And attending the course, and it was kind of that same screw it. Like let's just do it. Let's edit it and get it for review and submit it, and just why not? Because there's nothing, I don't know, if there's anything in this life, it's taking those chances and it's just doing it. So
especially a chance to express yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I love that. Yes, it found its home. We've had a couple of those stories throughout the years too, where it's, I wrote this piece, but I didn't have a place to put it, or I didn't know what to do with it. And it's just like, hey, if it's on theme, send it into Gals Guide. We love the idea of finding homes for, orphan stories, orphaned ideas that like it just, need a special place to fall, a separate place to be held. So fantastic. Yay! Beautiful. All right. How about this one? What advice would you give to other writers? Whether it's one that you have learned, whether it's one that you have heard, or whether it's one you are trying to learn, but still a work in progress on it. So what advice, I was supposed to put these in the chat, wasn't I? What advice would you give to other writers? Does anybody have a nugget of advice? Dun, dun, dun. Kathy, go for it.
I say don't throw anything away. This one of my stories, a good book, that got into this anthology, I wrote in my 20s. And I just went back and looked it over and cleaned it up, and it got published in the anthology. So that's what I'm doing right now, is going back and looking at old writings, and the piece I did on my on Jane Wayne, that the thing that spurred me to write that was going back. She had written her life story not very well. She wasn't the greatest writer, but she'd gotten all the facts down about her life, and those made it to me. That paper made it to me, and I took that and turned it into Jane Wayne, and the story was success. So keep, all the, if you do just doing journaling, somebody somewhere will read it someday. It may be your great great grandniece, but
there's a terrifying and exciting thought at the same time.
I know it is. You might want to go through and get rid of, shred anything that is really embarrassing, but
correct.
But your thoughts and your feelings, those are important, and in generations to come, people are going to want to read that.
Yeah. Sarah, you had your hand up. Go for it.
Well, I was going to say, to the point of shredding, I think it was actually same time I joined this course, I just had a ton of old journals that it felt heavy. And so I broke them all up and I took them to one of those like professional shredder things and I just had them all shredded. So there is something cathartic
Yes.
in shredding or destroying writing if it just doesn't, if it's more weighing you down than
If it's weighing you down, and if it's like a snake that's shedding its skin, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you are anew, so it's knowing that part of the process of what you need. So yeah, I like that. Beta, you have your hand up. Yes.
I would share for anyone who struggles with perfectionism, that's been a huge struggle of mine. And I realize it's a lot of shame around flaws and things like that. Once we start, I mean, it can be other things too, but that's what I've uncovered on my journey. And once I started to kind of meet that and also be in safe spaces with other people who were non-judgmental, I found that I actually found tremendous power in sharing my true voice, not like trying to raise it up or color it up. It's like, I like what Ada said. It's like not just painting ourselves as a hero, but also sharing the villain, not airing it all out, but like sharing, hey, like this was the journey. You know, there are going to be some parts that reveal more raw aspects, but also that's the part that people really connect to because it's not like no one is perfect. And I think that when we, you know, I agree, we can't just share it all at once. We have to have come to a point where we feel like, okay, it's safe to share this. Not perfection, but safety. Like this has been ingrained. It's not yesterday, right? It's something that's deeply ingrained as wisdom. And I feel like once any writer can do that, I found that within myself as well as some peers that I've mentored, it's that your authentic self could be the very thing that a lot of us hide from, but it's actually our greatest asset. It really is.
Yeah. No, I love that. Fantastic. Jonathan, Jonathan, do you have some writing advice?
I do, and sorry everyone, you don't get to see my face. You can turn to page whatever it is in the book if you'd
Right,
like.
exactly. Hold on, I will find it. But what is your wonderful advice?
Yeah, so my advice is that community is very important to the craft of writing, whether it's a gathering like this, whether it's just having a friend you can bounce ideas off of, if it's going to a class or a workshop, like getting exposure to other people's style, technique, and also getting their feedback can really inspire you to keep moving forward at a time when the muse might be falling silent. Case in point, I don't know who knows this, but Christina Kelly, who's also in this anthology, is my best
Yes.
friend. And she and I co authored a book together. And it was a unique experience, but a great one because we were there to pick each other up when someone was feeling a little down or uninspired, unmotivated. And so I can't recommend finding your writing buddy enough.
Yeah, community, writing buddy, and page 102 for Jonathan's story and photo. Yay, excellent. I love that. Ada, you have your hand up, darling. Yes.
Yes, so this is not necessarily about craft, but it is, writing and submitting are two different things, but they go hand in hand. Um, and my advice is rejection is part of the process. And I think that's, this is a very supportive space, and but sometimes when we're going to submit to, for example, other publications, um, inevitably we're going to run into the issue of rejection. And sometimes, what I say to myself is not necessary, writing can be subjective, right? It's not necessary whether you're good or bad, really is whether your writing works with this particular journal,
Yeah.
right? And so it's the issue of fitness, right? Whether you fit. And so that's kind of something to think about, that rejection is kind of a part of the journey. And it's very hard. I mean, I have known people who kind of feel very discouraged because of rejection, and that's something I think it's important to kind of consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also, I'm the one who sends out the acceptances and rejection letters for the Gals Guide Anthology. So I make a point to write the nicest rejection letter that anyone has ever seen because I've been on the other side of that. So yeah, I spend the extra effort, and then also the most celebratory one ever when, it's yay. So yes, but yeah, rejection is part of it. I love that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Sweet. Does anybody have a question that they would like to bring to the group? Anything that they have thought of, either to a specific piece or an overall? I see Sarah's hand up. Yes, go for it.
I asked this at the indie authors event too, but I'm curious, like just generally. So the reason why I say I'm a writer, not a writer, journaler, I don't know, because I will sit with a notebook. I'll be like, I want to write, just I want that tactile write, and then nothing. There's just nothing, like nothing in my head. So I'm curious, like how you all handle that, like either channeling thoughts or channeling inspiration. Like, what is it that gets you to come and sit, and like how do you make it come to you, I guess?
I like that. Make the words come forth.
Yeah.
I like it. Has anybody got an answer? Got some thoughts? Got a theory? Debbie? Yes.
One of the things that actually I learned from you was word vomit. Just write stuff. And I've even started with, I don't know what to write. I can't think of anything. And then I start writing why I do that. And then it goes. Also, one of the things that I've learned for me is I cheat. Because one of my guilty pleasures is I write song parodies.
Oh yeah, that's not cheating, but go ahead.
But yeah, I take other people's words and I turn it into something new and different. And so I've got a basis to work on.
It's an homage. It's a starting point. I dig it. I like it. The throwing up on the page is Anne Lamott. One of the best of its advice from Anne Lamott. She wrote a book called Bird by Bird, Stories for Writing and Life. Many great things in that book, but definitely the just throw it up on the page. You can fix it later. Just get it out. So yes, fantastic. Any other questions that anybody thought of? Dun, 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 dun. All right, then let me get to people's choice. I know some of you have totally been waiting for this. Look at that. I'm sorry, I'm looking at Lynn's. Yes, exactly. Oh, yes. Bird by bird. Yep, right. Every day. Bird by bird. Fantastic. All right, well, we will shift to the glorious awards. I'll change to speaker view. Oh, I still have my pen. All right, sweet. Let's switch the order. So our intention is to celebrate all 48 pieces, whether it is prose, whether it is poetry, whether it is fiction, whether it is nonfiction. Each author contributed a wonderful, unique look at rebellion. And on behalf of Gals Guide, I want to deeply thank every single writer for their authenticity, for their voice, for their talents, for their time, and for their bravery to send in a piece to publish with the world. We give authors and help authors on their writing journey. We give awards because it feels good to give an award. We do not give away awards to exclude. That is not our intention. We believe in all of you. And when I say all of you, I mean all of you. I hope you get that from my many, many emails that I love all of you. I will wonderfully call special attention, though, to our medal winners this year, who I'm certain are going to start wearing their medals every single day to remember that they are a goddamn medal-winning author. But our first place medal winner for this year's anthology was Facial Anarchy by Van Hanley. I keep wanting to put Van Halen or Van Haley every single time. Yeah, exactly. Hanny. There we go. Our second place, April is on the call and read her piece today, Elemental Rebellion by April Zasko. I hope I'm saying that right. I might be kind of close. I'm going to butcher the next one. Don't worry about it. The third place was Midway Blitz, Elegy for a Father by Waverly Vernon. So wanted to make sure I acknowledge our medal winners from the jury awards. So now to add to the 2026 Anthology Award season, the final award after an online vote that was down to one vote between first and second for multiple flip-flops. Like, I didn't check the things every day, but when I would check it, I'd be like, oh, that's down to like 1 vote, and it's this one. And then the next time, it's this one. And I'm like, oh my goodness, are they going to do this the whole time? So it flip-flopped way more times than I actually know. But there is a winner by 1 vote, and the winner of People's Choice, are you ready for this? Is The Unassuming Arsonist by Amelia. Is Amelia still here? She read her piece tonight. I have an award for you. It's a woman on a stack of books. I'm going to unpin myself because I want to know, would you like to say a few words? I'm going back to gallery view, and then I'm finding Amelia. There you are, lovely. Yes. Oh, fantastic. Look at this. I'm going to make this part much, much prettier for you. But this is going to be sent to you.
Awesome. All right. Well, yes, I would love to say a few words. And I'm sorry that I couldn't say them while I was still dressed kind of cute, but like I'm literally walking to my dad's car to go to kickboxing. But I would I would really like to thank Gals Guide. I would love to thank my poetry community, my in real life poetry community. And I just, side note, I've super enjoyed being part of this virtual community tonight. I would love to also thank my dad, and I would like to thank, who is waiting for me to go beat the shit out of some bags. And I would really like to thank also Poetic Reveries, just because they were the first place that ever accepted my work a couple of years ago. And, you know, that just makes you want to go for more wins. So yeah, thank you also to everybody who read tonight, because it's been fire. Like, it's been a good reading.
Yes! Look at that. Well, congratulations. Literally go kick some ass now. That is amazing.
He's honking the horn now.
You're like, I just won an award, man.
Right? I know.
Go tell him. Yes, I will get you your award. You go have fun.
Okay.
Sweet. All right. So to wrap up this glorious evening of stuff, I'm looking for that little button, and I'm looking for my little button. That's right. That's what I was looking for. Sweet. So to all of our authors, once again, thank you for sharing your words with us. I hope that this whole experience with publishing with Gals Guide has supported your writing goals, has supported your rebellion. Also, we want to see more of your writing in this world in any way, shape, or form that it comes. And that includes journaling, that includes sending me an email. That includes publication, all of that kind of good stuff. So, and to our readers who are also on this call, we appreciate you supporting authors. We hope that you have found meaningful connections with our anthology and also with these amazing authors. If you haven't yet visited the Gals Guide website, there is a free downloadable. I'm actually going to put the link in the chat. A free downloadable of autographs. So we had an autograph page that we put together with, it's like having your book dedicated to you that you can print out. You can either print it out on a sticker page or you can print it out on a piece of paper and have it in your book. So you have autographs from these wonderful authors. We also have social media links. So if you have heard a piece tonight or somebody said something that resonated with you and you want to stay in their orbit, follow them on social media. I know that the algorithm is really mean, and a lot of times we don't see the things from people we want to see, but you know what? You got to follow them to at least be able to follow up to be like, what are they up to? I wonder if they have another piece that is out in the writing world and all that kind of good stuff. So support and cheerlead our authors. The link is in the glorious chat that has a link to not only where you can buy a copy, but also that autograph page, the social media stuff, and all of that kind of good stuff. There's also links to all 5, I'm not going to pick them up again, all 5 of our anthologies as well, which is fantastic. And like I said before, 16 of our authors that were published in this anthology were in one of our writing class. So I'm going to put a link to our classes. We have a hero's journey class that is starting in September 2nd, that talks about not only the hero's journey, but the heroine's journey. It talks about for writing and for life. So writing, we're going to use as a tool to kind of process like what part of this journey is for me and what part of it like can just go straight to hell, because I'm going to do that. I get very problematic and lovely and hateful and fantastically immersed with hero's journey and heroine's journey as well. So I will leave lots of prickly bits for you to kind of process in that glorious class. The big writing class that I always talk about, that one starts in January. Registration isn't open yet, but if you follow our social medias, you will definitely see it. Subscribe to our newsletter and to see the wonderful class, or it will be on that link of classes. It is already temporarily there. It just doesn't have registration open specifically. That 12-week writing class is called Feminine Healing and Creativity Writing Workshop. The idea is we're working through the hard stuff to let room for our writing and for our healing. So it is a definitely hardcore class where we're going to talk about the hard stuff so that we can have a better life, so we can help each other a lot more. And support the work that Gals Guide does if you love this by telling others. I am the marketing department and I hate marketing. So please help me out in any way, shape, or form. Just tell people what you love about us. That goes far longer than anything of like buying a Facebook ad, which you could probably feel my eye roll, right, with the idea of buying a Facebook ad. So we're just trying to be a good spot in the world. So if you can tell people about us and what we do and any facet that you love about us, just tell people. And I will say, if you are curious, I'm surprised nobody's asked what the next anthology theme will be. I have no idea, but here's where it's going to be first. I have no idea. I have thoughts, but I'm not sure yet. We usually don't announce it until November, so this is kind of normal for us anyway. I will tell you though, we have a Patreon. So Gals Guide has a Patreon, and one of the perks for our Patreon members is to find out the theme of the anthology first. So if that is something that you are super interested in and want to support Gals Guide, it might be a cool way to do it. So we have membership models that start as $1 and they go up to $10 a month. So check out our Patreon. Oh, I think I do have a trusty link. Do I? Yeah, I do. I mean, it's Patreon, but I have a trusty link if it is something that you really, really want to know. Again, it will be everywhere on our website, in our newsletter, on our social media, right? Okay, but if you need to know first. Is there any other questions before I let y'all go? Dun, dun, dun. I don't see any hands up. I don't hear any beloved voices going, Leah, I have a question. Then you know what? I'm going to let you go have an evening. Maybe be like Amelia and go kick some shit. Right? Why not? Let's all go to kickboxing in our own way, right? You're all awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for this time together. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until I'm seeing your lovely faces, right? Exactly. Go be rebels. I love you. And Riot, get some sleep. It's like really late.